At Biashara Tuesday, I'm usually Stanley Nyerungita. This is Morning Cafe right here, TV 47. And kama kawaida every single Tuesday, just telling you what you need to know, how to increase your wallet, unaongezaje pesa. And today we're having an interesting conversation on matters, you probably have a friend or you're really into forex, trading, and or probably you're also a beginner. And you're trying to understand, how can I get into this space? You hear the whole matters of volatile markets, and you're wondering, how do I get into this particular space? And today, having the right minds for this conversation, and also on Biashara Tuesday, we're asking you, how much do you understand when it comes to online forex trading? How much do you understand when it comes to online forex trading? You can start talking to us, call in live, and utuambie what would you like to know about all that? And how much so far do you really understand when it comes to all this? And helping us with this conversation, first off, Alex Karanja, CEO of Scope Markets. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
More than 18 years plus when it comes to matters, investments and all this.
Financial services, yes.
Yeah. As well as Timothy Kiare, a professional forex trader, as well as an educator. You're hitting, is it 6 years now, for matters?
My 6-year trading.
How was the first year? Ukianza tu hivi?
Definitely it was challenging, but again, this is something that needs consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it pays off if you become consistent.
So, okay, first, who inspired you to get into forex trading?
My background is from the banking industry. I used to work as a banker, so that's where I got to know more about forex trading. And then I got more insights in terms of forex trading, and I left the banking industry to do forex trading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And so before we actually even begin, first off, what is forex trading currently?
Okay. Before I actually get into that, just a brief introduction. Mm-hmm. So my name is Alex Karanja, CEO at Scope Markets Kenya. Yeah. Scope Markets Kenya is a globally recognized brand in both FX trading, derivatives trading, as well as trading in investments in global stocks. What we do, we are a platform that gives clients access to both trading and investment opportunities in the global market. So forex trading, in short, is exchange of one currency for another. Mm-hmm. You will often see dollar, for instance, that is quoted against the shilling. That in itself, if you're to buy or to sell dollar against the counter currency shilling, that in itself is a simple definition of what forex trading is. That is actually already forex trading.
All right.
Yes.
And now to also build on this, because so this is a page of Nairobi Securities Exchange,
yes. And
we normally see some of these figures there, but you never really understand unless you're really a financial guru. Maneno. But then for common mwananchi, they always see some of these numbers, but they don't understand what they mean. So you have both of you can see the screens. Yeah. I'll start with you, Karanja, a brief of what we are looking at right now.
Yes. This is not forex trading. This is investments in shares or shares. You're trading in shares.
Yeah.
So what you have, as is listed from the Nairobi Stock Exchange, you have the counters that are listed to the extreme left. So you have, for instance, equity, housing finance, uchumi, and NSE as well. What you have indicated there in black is what the current price for each of these stocks is. Mm-hmm. Equity, for instance, at 40 shillings, housing finance at 4 shillings. What you have on the extreme right gives an indication of the movement of that stock price from the previous trading session. When you see colors in red, it indicates that the price moved down from previous trading session. Of course, the opposite is true, but that in itself does not indicate that equity is necessarily doing badly.
Right.
Yes, as you can see, the gain is also shown in green. So this is dependent on market activity for these particular counters from previous day, indicating whether there are more sellers or more buyers in the market, hence the reason why you're seeing the differences in prices. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right. More to add on this, Kiara?
Yeah, just like Alex said, what we have is the local market. This is the shares market, so which is quite different compared to the forex market, because when you talk about the forex market, you are talking about the global currencies. But again, this is a good place also to start from. As an investor, one cannot ignore the Nairobi Stock Exchange, because again, it's a nice place. You can make some some money from it. I personally also invest in the local shares.
Right. And we'll be getting to understand when it comes to shares what you need to know. And that now takes me back to know my first question, really.
Yes.
So for a beginner, what should you know when it comes to forex trading?
First and foremost, forex trading is very different from what you would see on the equity side. Forex trading, first and foremost, is something that you need to get a proper understanding, a proper grounding on before you delve into it. Just as you would, I'd imagine, if you're putting your money in anything else. For us at Scope Markets, we offer lots of training, both from a beginner level all the way to the expert level, where we're able to take you through the basic fundamentals of how to get into it, of how to get into a trade, understanding what moves markets, and really, most importantly, telling you that this is not a one-hit wonder type of thing. It is something that is very progressive. It requires a bit of time, probably about 6 months. Get into it. We take you through getting into a space of getting demo accounts, getting into actual trades, and we even have consultants that are able then to guide you through the journey to make you as good as we'd want you to be. Because, again, as I mentioned in the beginning, it is one of those things that you can very easily lose money on if you're not careful and if you don't have the right or requisite type of training. Yes.
So that means you have to have an account.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for actually opening our website.
Yes.
So, as I mentioned, Scope Markets Kenya. As I mentioned in the beginning, we're a globally recognized brand. As Scope Markets, we have a presence in Africa, in Asia, in the Middle East, which was just opened recently. In Africa, we have a presence in Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa. But not to speak specifically to us, we are licensed by CMA, that's a Capital Markets Authority. And what we are licensed to do is to offer a platform as a non-dealing entity. So for us, we do not offer investment advice, but we give you a platform through which you're able then to delve into the international markets, both for trading and investment side. So as you've correctly just put up on our screen, you get onto the screen, of course, you put in the details. It's a very simple process where as you go through this, then you're able to interact with one of our agents who calls you up and is able to guide you through the process of opening. And importantly, there are key questions that you're then able to answer and be able to gauge on your level of experience or understanding of the product. Because as I said, it's a very risky product. If you're not careful or well-grounded in terms of training, then you're likely to lose money. So based on the questions and how you answer them, we're able then to tell where we're able to place you and the kind of training then that we're able to give you to make sure that you appreciate and you get the best utility out of the products that we offer Scope Markets Kenya. Yes.
I actually never knew that you have to undergo a whole training. I thought that you just have an account or probably have a whole app and you start. No. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually a skill. And I tell people and again, you're putting in your money. So for the fact that you want to make money out of it at the end of the day, we want to take you through certain skill sets, certain levels of awareness to help you know what you're actually getting into. Because there's also psychology behind trading.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things then that I don't want to necessarily say now. I'd perhaps invite the audience to come over to Scope Markets to just get a better appreciation of how we're able to do these things. So
Kiari, so you've opened an account. I don't know, now for you, did you undergo that, as much as you had a background on matters, you understood how the whole financial markets look like. Did you have to undergo training?
Yeah, definitely I have to undergo training because, again, you find that even though I was in the banking industry, in the banking industry, basically it's the physical forex, because forex can be in two forms, the online forex trading and the physical one. So I was more on the physical one, whereby a client walks in, maybe with Kenya shillings, he wants to purchase some dollars. But when it comes to online forex trading, definitely you'll need to go some training. I also went through the same training.
Yeah. How long?
Yeah, my training was, I did training for 3 months. Yeah.
Right. So now you've opened an account. Because so the reason I was opening, so this,
Yes.
Even for the viewer to understand
Yes.
Why you really need to open an account. So I want to now get, now Kerry.
Yeah.
So after you have an account, after the whole, 3 months or maybe 6 months, or depending on how long the training will be, what next?
So once you have an account, after you have done or you have gone through the training, the first thing that comes into mind is to practice what you have been taught. There is something that is called a demonstration account, or what we call a demo account. So before you start live trading, that is, live trading is whereby you deposit your money and then now you start trading. So before you get to that point, you have to practice through a demo account, which will now be able to let you know whether you are at par in terms of what you have learned. Because if you're not profitable in demo account, definitely there is no way you are going to start live trading and you make money. You are going to lose. So a demo account is whereby each and every beginner has to begin from. That is, after now you take the education. Yeah.
Right. So now our main focus really for this conversation will be now for that beginner.
Yeah.
And now on the screens, as we do every single Tuesday, have right. So I do have first of all, I'll write Biashara Tuesday. I hope handwriting yangu inaweza nikaikuwa mwalimu siku moja. My learners will understand. So forex trading. So first off, we've opened an account, and I'll invite you, Kiere, to take us through all this. So first off, we have an account. Account plus the training.
Yeah.
So what happens in number 2?
So like I said, once you have once you have the account plus the training, there are 2 types of account you're talking about. There is the live account and there is the demo account. So of course, after the training, you have to begin from the demo account. The demo account, that's where you go to test the strategies that you have learned, okay? So you apply, you fine-tune your strategy, or you formulate your strategy using the demo account. So once your strategy is up to par, that is, once you start seeing results in your demo account, you now transition to live trading, okay? Because you find in the demo account, there are some things that the demo account will not teach you. Like you had my friend mention about psychology. Because when we are trading forex, it is 60% psychology. So the education part covers only the 40%. So with the psychology, now you get to learn more about psychology when it comes to live trading, because that's where you'll know whether you are greed. That's why you'll be able to know whether you are disciplined. The emotions aspect of it, they all come in the live account. Because, you know, with the demo account, this is virtual money. It's not your money.
Will you write that word for us so that they also understand the spellings of the demo account? Yeah,
the demo account, that's how we write. I believe my handwriting is okay. So
okay.
I'm a banker, so I write accounts. But this just means accounts, account. So from the demo account now, this is where you fine-tune your strategy. Okay. So after you fine-tune your strategy, you now go to live trading. Okay. You go to live trading. That is from a live account.
So on the demo, how much are you supposed to be putting in here?
For a demo account, it's actually virtual money. It is not your money. Yes, so the benefit you derive from a demo account is you get to almost experience a live trading environment, but what you lose or gain is based on a virtual currency that you got when you initially opened the account. So it allows you to make all the mistakes on the initial stages. It allows you to test out things in theory that you may have learnt out. So here, you're doing what you'd ideally do in a live environment, but you're doing on a test environment, where when you lose, when you gain, nothing really is gained or lost in the first place. It allows you to learn. It's almost like school. Yes.
And how long should this be for you to be in the demo?
You know, now it depends on different people, how you understand your IQ. So, but again, as a trainer, I usually tell people, take the shortest time possible in the demo account, because again, like I said, this is not going to teach you the psychological bit. Because 60% comes in the psychology when you start live trading.
Technically, what's the shortest time according to you?
You can take, maybe the longest time you can take is a month, according to me, a month. A month should be good enough, and especially if you have undergone a proper training.
Yeah.
All right, so umemalizana demo 1 month. Ukianza live trading, because that is where you'd hear stories of nilieka 500k ikaenda yote. But the next day someone still goes there. And I know we will tackle this when it comes to the whole psychology. But now I want to get into the numbers. So first off, now we're into live trading. So what happens here?
So in the live trading now, this is where you deposit cash. You start now making money. You start trading live, that is making money. So you can either make money or lose money. So it will depend on the type of education that you received and also you yourself as a person. Because one thing with forex trading actually, what goes along, what we have seen in the social media, people are trying to portray it like a get-rich-quick scheme, which actually it is not. If actually what I tell my student, when I mentor my student, how I tell them is that when you come into forex, first of all, you need to change your mentality. That the key goal is for you to learn how to trade forex and become a successful trader. If you come with the mentality of making money, you might lose, you might give up even within the first month. So you have to change your focus and now learn how to become a successful trader. Because now if you become a successful trader, then money will definitely follow you. So it's all, like I said, it's all about psychology. So in the live trading now, that's where you'll get to know whether you are greedy or not, because maybe you find that, maybe for instance, I can give a scenario, someone deposits $100 and this person wants to make a profit of $100 the same day. He wants to flip that account, which is not possible. So definitely you tend to overtrade with emotions in between, and what will happen, most probably you lose that money. So it's a step at a time. It's a step at a time. So you start small and you grow big.
So the first day of your live trading, how much will you recommend someone to start with?
Now, that also depends on your risk threshold. But I often tell people, if you want, because at the end of the day, what you're aiming for is a very small movement in prices for you to gain something meaningful on a day basis. So I would tell you to put in an adequate amount of equity. What is said, $100, $200 would be a very nice place to start from. Then that way, you're able then to appreciate how well this thing can work for you. And also going back again to the training, because I see we want to put in as much focus on the live trading, but before we do that, I want to take you back to the training element.
Yeah, true.
Because on the training, in fact, from the day we onboard you and through the training that we take you through, in as much as, yes, we're doing our bit to appreciate a lot of nuances around you that speak to your trading methodology and psychology, you also get to learn as an individual. Based on all these things that I'm learning, based on all these ideas of trading that I'm getting from the trainer, how then, what aspects or what strategies would I want to implement along the way? So on the back of that then, I would then be able to tell how much money I'd put in as equity when I'm trading. But typically, a lot of the traders that come on our platform, they'll probably do anywhere between $100, $50, $100, and they grow the equity as we move along. Yes.
Right.
Yes, because they appreciate that this is a means through which they can actually earn something.
You mentioned about $50, $100.
Yes.
And someone might be curious. So how much should they, in their mind, the back of the mind, should they know that this is what I should have so that I can start?
Before he comes in, I like that you've mentioned the minimum amount again. So we have two sets of clients, which I think is also a very good distinction, so that we're able to strip that minimum equity better. So you have retail clients and you have institutional clients. Of course, an institutional client will not be looking at $100 as a minimum amount they come in with, because they have more expertise in as far as trading is concerned. So the retail client is the one that I mentioned would typically come in with between your 50 and 100. And the reason for that, this is probably a very new person that's coming, and they're more or less trying to test. You're putting in your toe in the swimming pool before you dip in. You've learned how to swim, but you just want to see how this thing works. But over time, you'll realize that the customer that comes in with that minimum of 50 to 100 eventually moves the bar in as far as what their minimum equity then becomes. So it's an interesting question because I don't want to sound very prescriptive. But again, depending on the equity that you put in, then you're able to sustain trades in the first place.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay, first of all, before you even continue, now for you, 6 years ago, how much did you start as your minimal equity?
Personally, I began with $100. Of course, the first $100, I believe that. It is I usually call it like more of a baptism.
Yeah.
You're being baptized into the markets. But again, it doesn't have to be that way, because you understand, like 6 years ago when I was beginning, we didn't have like training. Like for instance, if you go to Scope Markets Kenya, they are offering training, free training, that is. So for me, it was actually more of I used an expensive way. I paid through a certain academy for me to learn forex. So you find that about capital, it's not really an aspect that for me concerns me a lot. What really concerns me is about the skill itself, the training, because I might give even $1 million. Without the skill, you'll definitely blow that account. I can give someone who has gone training a $20 account, and you will be able to make something substantial out of the same. So all that matters is the skill, the training itself. Yeah, for me, it's not actually about the capital. You can begin even with $20. You can begin with $50, $100. But what matters, do you have the right skill to be able to apply and make something out of the same? That's what matters to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So now, because the whole bit here is foreign exchange.
Yes.
And we were taking a look at you're here, you're somewhere in Nairobi, mahali Kayole.
Yeah.
But then you're exchanging you're doing foreign exchange with currencies across the country. So first off, what should one know as a beginner, Karanja?
What should one know?
Because first off, how Nairobi Securities Exchange works.
Yeah.
How important is that?
Yeah.
And also, because you're trading outside, should you also know how the Securities Exchange of other countries work?
Yes. So first and foremost, I always start with the basics. The basics. One of the key things is when you're trading through a broker, make sure this broker is regulated. As I mentioned in the beginning, we are regulated by Capital Markets Authority. What that does, it not only adds credibility to what we're doing, but it also tells you that we have a regulator, a local regulator that you can report us to, or you can also go and say we've done good things too here locally. That's very important. Second thing, make sure that you also have some track record of this broker that you're using. Because you will also notice that there are a lot of fly-by-night type of brokers or briefcases organizations that will come and promise you the world. You give them all the money in the world, all your savings, and it's lost. Not even on trading, you've just been conned. Third, make sure that when you're dealing with a broker, they also have training. As he mentioned, Scope Markets offers free training Monday through Friday on webinar and physical classes, where then we're able to tell you about these opportunities. We're not just telling you that there's a market out there that you can make money through. We actually tell you what this market's all about. We teach you skills. We're able to perhaps share our expertise on how best you can take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. And for us, the training cuts across global markets. We also, by the way, as Scope Markets also, we give clients access to the Nairobi Stock Exchange through NSE derivatives. Outside that, we introduce them to 12 of the largest global stock exchanges in the world. Right now, through our training, we're able to tell you don't just need to own an Apple phone. You can actually buy an Apple share. And this is the markets. These are the markets where Apple shares are traded, and these are the signals you need to watch out for if you want to buy or if you want to sell. So there's a whole lot more that we're able to do for you to introduce you into this world of trading. Trading, not just trading and investing as well, yes.
And because you mentioned forex brokers, and I'm curious, Kerry, so how do you trust a forex broker? As much as, yes, they're licensed, but then this forex broker might have an allegiance to a particular company when it comes to even, them buying you shares and also selling you shares. How do you trust a forex broker?
Yeah, definitely. Of course, we cannot shy away from the aspect of regulation, but also we want to look at, when you're choosing a broker, I usually advise you look at maybe probably the different types of product they're offering, okay? So personally, I want a broker that is a one-stop shop. Basically meaning I can be able to access like the currencies, that is the forex itself. I can be able to access like indices if I want to trade indices, if I want to trade commodities, if I want to trade, like you said, the NSE derivatives. If I want to trade like maybe the offshore stocks, that is the stocks abroad. So those are the kind of things you look at, the product offering. Do they have a variety of product? Number two, I also want to look at their different platforms. Apart from maybe probably the MT5, going to the MT5 maybe in the desktop version, the mobile version, is there another way that I can be able to access the market? So those are the types of things, the key things that you look at, and also now you look at also what we call the pricing. That is the pricing we talk about maybe in terms of commissions and spreads, because those are very key aspects that as a trader you cannot be able to ignore.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now he's talked about products.
Yes.
And now the viewer would really want to know. So there are actually a number of products that you could be trading with. Could I ask you to list for us the kind of products that?
Yes. So
could you?
Oh yes, yes.
So that we also understand now for different products how each of these products work and why. Which one should you be eyeing for?
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, we have two sets of products. We have investment products and we have trading. So for trading, you have forex, you have indices, you can trade in precious metals.
Right.
Yes. On investments, you can have shares, of course. These are physical shares. Physical shares, you want to buy single stocks, and I'll tell you just in a bit.
And I must also mention you do have quite the handwriting.
Oh, I do?
Ni kama ametushinda.
Kwa sawa.
And ETFs. So I'll write this for ease of understanding. So for trading, so we break it down in two. So for trading, this is someone who has a higher risk threshold, who would definitely want to sit down with Timothy and get to understand the psychology, the equity that you'd want to put into this, the amount of risk that also sits in this.
For this?
For the trading element, yeah? Of course, for the trading element, I always tell, and I often tell people, don't think of this as, I know Kenyans like this thing of kuekelea. This is not kuekelea. You're not putting a bet, you're not placing a bet on Man U, my favorite team winning. Yeah. On the investment, Kenyans, a lot of us are much more familiar with this because this is why your shares come in.
Yeah.
And the greatest mirror to this will probably be the NSE. You tell someone, a common mananchi on the street, Safaricom, they would very easily understand that.
Yeah.
But now you're taking this to a global level. But you're not telling them you can actually buy an Uber share. You can buy Facebook, Meta now. You can buy, into a lot of these global stocks, in 12 of the largest stock exchanges in the world, be it London Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange, we're able to give you access to that. Now for shares, you can buy it either as a single stock, or you can even opt to come and say, as opposed to getting exposure to just one share like Uber. So your winnings, your gains or losses are attributed only to one company. You can actually come and say you now want to buy something that probably has Uber, Meta together. So what this does is a much more diversified portfolio. So it reduces and it evens out your risk.
So that's why you had written basket.
Yes, so I write it as a basket, yes. I put it in as a basket.
Right.
So you're able then to have something that has a much more diversified level of risk for those that probably don't just want exposure to one single stock.
I want you to take you back to the shares.
Yes.
And you mentioned Uber, and you also mentioned for the global markets.
Yes.
And so I was having a conversation with a forex trader sometime last year, telling me that atakuwa kwa simu at around 3:30 p.m., 4 p.m. their Kenyan time. Why is that? Because
markets, and I think that's more of a space. So you have different trading sessions. You have, the market is a 24-hour, 24/5, be it on trading in FX or trading in shares. So when one market closes in the global space, When one closes, the other one is opening. When New York is closing, London is probably opening. When London is opening, Tokyo is probably, when London is closing, Tokyo is opening. So you have a spillover of all these markets. So every other time, you have an opportunity to actually still double all these markets on a 24/5 basis. And that's the same thing also with trading.
Okay.
Another thing I also wanted to mention on trading, which is probably a fact that many may be aware of.
Right.
This is a very big market, forex. You have over $6 trillion.
Could I get a follow-up on the spillover of these markets?
Yes,
from,
yes.
Carrier? Because now, for someone, I mean, you had done the demo.
Yeah.
No, you can just answer.
Okay.
So you had done the demo.
Yeah.
So why should you understand all this? That when New York has closed, London has opened. Why do you need to understand all that?
Yeah, definitely that is very important. It's something that you cannot shy away as a trader because these are the trading sessions that we have. In a particular day, in a single day, 24-hour trading cycle, we have 4 sessions. We begin with the Sydney session, then we go to the Tokyo session, then the London session, and then the New York session. The reason why these sessions are very important is because as a trader, you want to position yourself in terms of volatility. So you want to look at, for instance, if you're trading the Sydney session, this is why we want to look at the Australian dollars, the currencies that appear with Australian dollars, because it means during the Sydney session, their banks are open, they are active, there is a transaction, right? So it means there is some volatility. So if you are trading the New York session, therefore you want to trade the major currency pairs. That is the ones that appear with the dollar, because that is the New York market in the US. So meaning that at that time, the dollar is active, there is some volatility. Bank activities are on. So these sessions becomes important for traders in terms of trying to realign themselves with the volatility. Because as a trader, like my friend said, there is a difference between trading and investing. So trading is whereby you enter into the market, you open as many positions, that is short term. But now when it comes to investing, this is long term. Yeah, so with Forex, it becomes very important for you to align yourself according to the sessions so that you can take advantage of that volatility. And now you make at least some few dollars out of it.
Do you have to be engaged in all these sessions?
Not really. You find that, for instance, here in Kenya, the London session and the New York session favor us because you find that the London session begins around 10 a.m. And the New York sessions begins at 3 p.m. But right now, because we have something we call the daylight savings, it begins 1 hour ahead. So like now, London session will begin at 11 a.m. And then now the New York session will begin at 4. Yeah. So those 2 sessions actually they are enough. Even one session, like for me, I love trading the London session because I love trading the likes of the GBP, euros, so because they are active during the London session. But you find there is another trader who basically loves trading the New York session because he likes interacting with the dollar currencies. Yeah.
So that means wewe unangojea saa 5 ifike. Umeka alarm ya saa 5.
I definitely know ikifika saa 5, that's when I want to now start engaging in the market. Yeah. So after that, probably in the New York session, I might not be in the market.
Right.
Or maybe I might trade again because you find in the New York session we have more of economic events that are being released. So again, there is volatility, so I can as well take advantage of that. But my main session is the London session. Right. Yeah.
So back to you're explaining to us now into the trading.
Yes. So trading is trading more or less short-term. Investments is more or less long-term.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So because now he says atangojea saa 5 yeye.
Yes.
For the London session. Can trading be a side gig?
Yes, it can. In fact, when you come through this training, as we've mentioned, there are a lot of things that you will learn to appreciate from what you would get out of this, that perhaps at some point it will even stop becoming a side hustle. There are people who actually make a living out of this. They have learned the nuances of what trading is all about. They have the risk threshold. They have the right equity, they have the right mindset, they have the right psychology. There are people who actually make a living out of this.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Before I let you sit down, before Kieri arudi
hapo kwa mwalimu wetu. No problem.
Hapo kwa precious metals, watu wanaangalia wanashangaa. Hii ni chuma aina gani unaongelelea hapo?
Hiyo ni swali ya maana sana because kitu moja kubwa tunafanya and I know hiyo hujaiona XAU. Leo ndakufunza kitu. This is how gold is written, XAU. So this, when I mention precious metal, this is actually the highest traded product that we have. In fact, not just us. This is the highest traded product by most of the forex brokers, not just locally, but also in the world. Globally. Gold. This is what a lot of people trade. So, leo nimekufunza kitu mpya, precious metals. And this, if you actually start doubling in trading, this is what a lot of our traders like trading on, gold.
So how do you do that? Is it the precious metal versus now a dollar, or you can also precious metal versus a precious metal?
It's actually a precious metal against the currency itself.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, another very important thing to also mention over here, now that I've mentioned gold, the trading opportunities we offer, you don't expect to have a physical delivery of gold to your house. It is a derivative. A derivative where people are trading on the underlying instrument. So everybody's trading on their perception or sentiments of where they think gold may be going, either up or down, depending on economic activity. So don't expect any physical delivery of something coming to your house. So for all these instruments that I've actually listed over here, there's no physical delivery of the underlying. Yeah, so you're just trading. You're trading based on sentiments against the underlying instrument that you're speaking to.
So is it gold only, or which other metals?
They can be gold, they can be silver.
Copper, palladium,
yes.
etc. All those precious metals.
Right.
We actually, sorry, Karen.
So if you're interested, you can just take a look at which metals you can...
In fact, when you come for the training, we'll give you a snippet of, when I just mentioned indices and I mentioned precious metals and forex. Even on forex itself, there are lots of currency pairs that will be speaking and telling you what exactly they're all about. But of course, based on your risk threshold and the fact that we will also share with you some of the do's and don'ts. So some of the don'ts are, in as much as you have this big universe of all these products that you can trade in, you also need the discipline of focusing only on a few. As is also mentioned, you don't want to trade in all the markets, in all the trading sessions, Sydney, Tokyo, London, and New York. You probably just want to focus on one. There's lots of opportunities on even just picking one of the sessions. And again, just one of these products that I've just illustrated over here.
Right.
Yes.
So I want to, as you hand me Kiaru Kikaribia,
okay.
I want to now move on to something called timing. Na timing inakuanga kitu ya maana sana. Because, I mean, over the past weeks, we've been taking a look at the conversation here, the shilling versus the dollar. First off, as a forex trader, whatever was happening, how much, what did you pick from that?
You see, basically the market is driven by some different factors. We have the technicals, we have the economic events. So like what happened with the Kenya shilling, basically it was due to the economic events. Number one, the Euroboard having matured now, we wanted to rebuy it again. So that increased some foreign reserves in our country, which made the Kenya shilling to stabilize. So that's what basically affected our Kenya shillings. But again, when it comes to the forex trading, the reason why you cannot be able to do away with, we have two types of things we look at, the technical and also the fundamentals. Fundamentals is whereby the market is influenced by the economic events, like what I explained happened with our Kenya shillings.
So before the shilling started gaining, as a forex trader, are you able to predict how, unaangalia unaona, by the way, kesho, there is a high possibility shilling is again, so this is what I need to do?
Would you call it prediction? So what happens world over is all central banks have an economic calendar. Key information that's coming out that can help traders anticipate or tell what the likely direction for this thing is likely to be. It could be information on expected rates of inflation, expected rates of central bank rates, whether it moves up or down. It could be it could be information on employment data, are more people being hired, are more people being laid off. So there's a host of information that comes out that is then able to help you appreciate what the likely direction of the currencies will be. So as is mentioned, there's information on fundamentals, and then there's technical data. Technical now is expertise where he goes through graphs and is able to tell based on trends. Is there a trend, and am I able to catch a trend either going up or down? And there are times also based on the psychology that you've learned along the way. you tell yourself, you know what, I can't tell what's happening, so I need to be out of the market, you know. So, yeah, so there's a lot that is able to guide you on really expectations of where the market is likely to move to.
All right, now, so Kiara, so for your space, pali, so maybe vizuri, the technicalities of it. So after the shilling started gaining, and we did see even the deputy president saying, oh, what wamekimbia, you know, kuuza dollar nini. First off, is that what should have been happening? And, you know, what, as a forex trader, again, what should you be doing at such a moment?
See, the moment you're diving into forex trading, one thing that you need to know is you need to keep abreast with what is happening around, okay, so that you can be able to take advantage of such. So, like for instance, for me, when the Kenya shilling was around 162, I knew that was the best time to sell, technically, because, you know, we usually buy at discount and sell at premium. So, for instance, if we have this graph here, so if we can have this kind of graph, so the 50% of this graph, let's say this is the 50% level, so this is what we call the premium. Okay, the premium. Sorry, forgive my handwriting. This is what we call the discount. So I know once the price crosses above this level, technically, this is not the level to buy. And you found most of the people who are complaining about the Kenya shillings depreciating, stabilizing, they had bought at premium. Because I had a friend actually who had bought at 159. Then within 3 days, the downfall started. So they start now panicking. So as a forex trader, you understand that once the price reaches a certain level, it will definitely like retrace. There's what we call retracements, or maybe probably what we call reversals. So for me, I knew personally, I knew that was the best time to sell, to now exchange now the dollar to Kenya shilling. Yeah, so those are the kind of things we look at. And again, now back to the fundamentals. So with the fundamentals, because like I said, it was during, I think 2 weeks ago that now the Eurobond, we were talking about now rebuying the Eurobond. Yeah. So definitely that gave a clue that the Kenya shillings are gonna stabilize against the dollar. So for me, though that might be interim, according to me, I'm still thinking of adding more dollars because I'm anticipating the price shooting again. Because if you look at economically, the way it is, those were just interim measures. They were just interim measures.
So there's a possibility the shilling might be depreciating?
Yeah, there is a possibility. This is not an investment advice, but there is a possibility.
Just kimbia sema pana Kiari
alisema. No, there is a possibility. Yeah.
All right, so because, and again, I said we talk about timing. And for you, I mean, you're saying, I had seen this signs, I had seen this. Yeah. So early on, you know, first bit we talk about, so you're in the live trading. Yes. So how do you time so that, you know, let's say come and you yako 11 a.m. How do you ensure there's the proper timing? First of all, is there proper timing? I'll start with you, Karanja. Yeah. A proper timing such that, you know, sayo nimeingia saa 5. Wacha ningoje nione how things will be, venye markets zinakaa, alafu sasa, now there you say this is the right time to do, to trade.
So again, I'll talk a lot and I'll keep repeating about the training element, because in the training you will learn to appreciate that the key clues as a trader. You probably learn on when to get in and when to get out, perhaps. But then again, even more importantly, is managing risk. Now, managing risk means that when I come in here, and based on the psychology and training that I've gotten, I know this is the entry point, then I put in something called a stop loss. Because at the end of the day, there are very few certain things in life. I think the things that you're certain about are probably taxes and death. You could come in there, you've read everything, and you know for sure this is the direction the currency or product I've taken is likely to take in terms of pricing. Yeah. But you're never sure, because there's always a discount factor. So you do something very important in managing risk. You put a stop loss, that in the event what I thought would happen does not happen. This is the maximum I'm willing to lose. Then you also put in another very important point called a take profit. That based on everything I've read and based on everything that I've seen, I'd want, if this price reaches a certain point, then I want my trade to execute. So I don't have, long and short, I don't have to be in front of the screen when I buy something and wait the whole time. I mean, kuna shughuli, there are many other things you need to be doing out there. So the moment you've managed your risk in terms of putting a stop loss and a take profit, then you leave the trade. So it's not too much about, I need to be out by 11, I need to be in by a certain time. You've read the technicals, you've seen the fundamentals, there's certain information or data that came out that's able to predict in a way what direction this currency is likely to take. Then you take a position, you put in your stop loss, and you put in a take profit. Then you let it be. So it's not too much about, I need to be out by 11. I need to be out by a certain time. No. Yes.
Kieran, the same. Is there anything like
my friend has
proper
said,
timing?
Like my friend Alex has said, you can never time the market. Even though I'm saying that I'm waiting for 11 a.m. so that I can trade the London session, that does not mean that I'm going to get entries at 11 a.m. So one thing that we use in terms of getting entries, you have to have a strategy. So with your strategy, so you have to wait until your strategy formulates. So maybe if I go to the market at 11 a.m., the London session,
right.
So I'll just analyze the market, and then I'll be waiting for the market maybe probably to align according to my strategy. That's until then, I cannot be able to execute a trade. So I'll wait for my strategy to be aligned, and then now, once my strategy is aligned, I can execute a trade. And like he said, you can be able to do it in different ways. If I have time, that is maybe probably I have time to look at the charts, I can just wait. But again, there is a way that we set, maybe you can set an alarm. If the price reaches a particular point of interest, you are able to be reminded about the same. But again, if you don't have time, maybe uko na biashara zingine ama shughuli zingine za kupiga, then you do what we call pending orders. So I'll analyze the market. I know this is where maybe probably I'm waiting. Let's say maybe probably this is the market. So I know that maybe after this push up, the market maybe might retrace to this level. So this is the level that I'll be waiting for the market for me maybe to buy. So if the market is at this particular point, and maybe I don't have time, I can set a pending order here. We call them pending orders, maybe probably a buy limit. So I can now go out. After I set my buy limit, of course, we have the risk management strategies like you talked about, the stop loss. So I'll have the stop loss. And the good thing with this market is that the stop loss is what you are willing to lose. So if I have $500 and I'm willing to lose $20, so that's why I'll put my stop loss. So then I'll also put maybe probably my take profit at this particular level. So that trade is set. So I don't need to be there staring at the charts. So I can go and do my things. Once I come back, I'll just log in and check how my trade performed. Yeah, so...
Is there a specific time that you always come back to see how it performed?
Now, times depending with the shugulis, like for instance, most of my time I spend on trainings. So I like using of these pending orders a lot. So I might even come back even like 3 hours, 4 hours, just to check how, maybe probably if it hit my stop loss or maybe my take profit. Yeah. So
right.
There's no specific time.
Right.
Yeah.
Before I let you sit down and start tuanze kuongelea maneno psychology, because we talked about trading for different currencies.
Yes.
And you're advising us it would be better if you focused on a few of them.
Yes.
So take us through the kind of, for example, in the London session, Yako, even for the euros, how will you trade and how will it look like for us?
Yeah, like maybe probably one thing that I'll let you know is that when it comes to trading, there are different things that we look at. Of course, this is a profession like any other. Just like someone is in medicine, so this is a profession like any other. So there is what we call specialization. So you can't be all over. Like my friend said, we have a lot that you can trade. Currency pairs, there are so many, you cannot exhaust them. When it comes to indices, metals, all those things. So for me, I usually specialize on 3 instruments. So I look at gold. Like he said, we love so much trading gold. Then I look at what we call GBP USD and Euro USD. If I don't get a setup in this, I'm not trading. Yeah, because this is what I have specialized in. I know the movement of these pairs because when you specialize, you'll be able to understand how these pairs move. Okay, so you also it will save you a lot of time when it comes to doing the analysis. So for me, when I enter into the market, the first pair I begin analyzing in the London session, I look at gold. So then I go to the next pair, I look at GBP USD, and the next pair I look at Euro USD. So once I get some opportunities there, that's when now I'm able to execute my trades. If no opportunities, I wait. This is a game of patience. You have to be patient for you to make it in forex. Yeah.
Right. And speak of Bata's patience, Nambi, we have to take a short break. We'll be back to analyze which ones are preferable if you're living in Kenya. First of all, is there anything like that? Tukiwa Kenya, these are the currencies that you should be trading with. Stick around. Again, remember our question of the day. What do you understand when it comes to matters forex trading and online forex trading? Talk to us. Unaweza tupigie simu, utuambie. 22047 is our SMS number. TV47KE on Facebook. Karibu sana. This is Morning Cafe, the hashtag kama kawaida za biashara Tuesday, and we're discussing matters online forex trading, and we're asking you how much do you understand when it comes to online forex trading. And so there's someone here says, Clinton Mwangi, I have never recovered from my losses. It remains a painful ordeal. Kevin Muyaka, nothing. Bob Kip, Koima says very little. And Brian Kuske says take profit. Hapo kuwa I have never recovered. We'll get to that.
Sure.
Karanja utakuja utuelezea the psychology when it comes to kitu mnaambia watu kwa trading. But before the break, we were taking a look at so the kind of currencies. Yeah. And for you, your writing was for the London session.
Yeah.
But now in Kenya, will you advise someone, uambie mtu, these are the currencies that I'd advise you uchezange tu nazo?
Yeah, if especially when you're in Kenya, I think there is no specific currency that maybe I can advise you to look at, because you find people have different understanding of these currencies. So in the beginner's level, what you need to do is pick like maybe probably 10 to 15 in your watch list. Then as you trade them, there is what we call a trading journal. You have to write them in a trading journal. So maybe after a period of 1 month, looking with your trading journal, you'll be able to see which currencies you're performing best at. So that means that those are your strengths, okay? So the reason why I came up with these 3 is because I was trading like 10 to 15 in my beginner's level, but I found my strength was more on gold, GBP/USD, and Euro/USD. So I had to do away those currencies that I'm not performing best in and now concentrate on these. So you find that there is someone else maybe who trades maybe a pair like AUD/JPY, because he understands this pair best, maybe GBP/JPY because they understand this pair best. So it's not about, as a trainer, I cannot be able to tell you focus on gold, focus on GBP/USD. No, it's up to you as a person to see where your strength is, and now that's where you put your focus on. Yeah.
And this is Japanese
Japanese yen.
Yang.
Yeah.
This is
Australian dollar.
Oh, Australian dollar, right?
Yeah,
And
Great British pound.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So now, okay, and nachiki kwa zote, you've stayed away from the shilling, the Kenyan shilling against other foreign currencies. Sure. Why is that?
You know, when you're talking about the Kenya shilling now, that falls under the exotic. So when you're trading exotic, you find at times they are very expensive to trade because of the aspect of the liquidity. Yes, they are liquid, but I mean, there is low liquidity because not all the traders are trading it. But again, you find because of that, the spreads are wide. So spread is what we call the cost of trading. So you don't want to engage with the pairs that have wide spreads. So the reason why you find most of the people avoid trading exotic because it becomes expensive. So in the forex market, again, the pairs that offers more volatility, we are talking about because we have three categorization. We are talking about the major currency pairs. These are currencies that are paired with the dollar. And also we are talking about the minor currency pairs. These are pairs that are derived from the JPY, GBP, and Euro crosses. So, and then now we have the last class, which is the exotic currency. Yeah. So exotic becomes quite expensive to trade in them because of low liquidity, meaning that not many traders are engaging in them. And that now brings in the aspect of wide spreads, which is now the cost of doing business.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it the fact that which other exotic currencies do we have?
We have something like TRY, that is the Turkish lira. We have the SEK, that is the Sweden kron. Also, we have the Norwegian kron, that is NOK. Those are examples of exotic currency pairs.
Right.
Yeah.
So
also in Africa, we have the South Africa, the South African rand, that is the ZAL. Yeah.
Right. Na zingine za Ugandan and Tanzania.
So you'll not find them listed in the financial markets because the reason is because in the financial markets, they basically focus on volatility, and the ones that offer volatility, they're the ones from developed economies, and now they merged the emerging economies like the Turkey economy, the Sweden economy, the Norway economy, yeah.
Plus yetu sasa.
Yetu pia.
So at least we at least the emerging and like our brothers and sisters. All right, you can now have a seat, Kiere, as we cross over to our third bit where we talk about matters, the psychology.
Yes.
And just to also, ndio hata Clinton, ni kama Clinton amekufa hopes kabisa.
Okay.
Walk us through how this, the bit of the psychology of forex trading.
In fact, this is more space,
right.
Because, again, training. Training is key. And on the training, as I mentioned, you have the do's. I can do this.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, what you learn is of course, what the basics are. What is FX? How big is the market, for instance? What currency pairs are there? Stuff like that. Then importantly, what are the do's, and importantly, what are the don'ts? So people will look at the do's and always forget this, which is mostly on risk management. Yeah. So the do's are in terms of, he's told you about the journal, he's told you about having a sense of get information that speaks to what the fundamentals speak to a certain currency and the technical aspects of it. Then don'ts. For instance, don't trade when you're emotional. I mean, a lot of people would listen to that and laugh and wonder, what does that mean?
Yeah.
You're told the market does not care too much about your emotions. That's very important. Two, when you get into this type of market, make sure you don't overtrade. Don't think because the market is vast, that universe is so big in terms of the currencies that you get into, add into indices, add into precious metals. Don't think because the market is that big, it's a blue ocean, don't get into, swim into it. Have a very good psychology around the basics that you learned and know that in as much as they're all that, what currency pairs or what precious metals pairs would I want to get into? And perhaps you could listen more to the classes that Timothy has that speaks to the majors. Majors are pretty good currencies to actually double in because there is available liquidity. Liquidity means that there are a lot of players buying and selling at each and every time. So you can get in and get out very quickly. Another don't trade into something because you had something on. Don't come and buy euro dollar because you had something in a sports club, uko mahali umekaa chini and you had someone say,
Yeah,
but it's a,
yeah.
no. Do your research. Make sure that when you're getting into this, you've done enough research to ask yourself, why did I get into it in the first place? Another one, never leave an open trade.
So, and before we continue, and I'd like to pick Kiara's mind on this. So, and I know we had touched on it before the break kidogo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he says that alisikia mtu kiokea mahali, and you want to get into it, and you advise, go and do your research. But what kind of research are we doing here?
When you're talking about research, you have to look at different things. Number one, it's basically about trying to understand maybe probably the fundamental events or economic events that might try to influence the euro-dollar. So, for instance, when you're looking about the euro-dollar, you are looking at two economies here, the European economy and also you're looking at the America's economy. So what kind of maybe probably event might try to happen such that it might maybe probably influence the prices of euro-dollar. So those are the researches that, the kind of research that you need to do. And it's an in-depth research because, again, you don't only rely on now the fundamentals, also you need to look at the technical aspect of it. Yeah, that is now trying to analyze these kind of graphs, trying to interpret, etc., etc.
Right.
Yeah.
So back to the whole risks.
Yes.
So I had cut you short, you were saying?
Yes. So risk management is very, very important. Again, the don'ts are more than the do's. And we tell people there's a reason why we get you first onto the demo account. There's a lot of nuances we would want you to learn and appreciate on that safe space. Of course, from time to time, get into the live space. But even as you do that, make sure you're not dealing just for the sake of, I've woken up and I feel like it's a good day, let me do something about it. There has to be a lot of, in fact, as he said, it's more, 60% of it is psychology. And again, the worst thing is you could have done all that, and unfortunately, as I said, the markets are not as predictable as we think they are. Key thing is, you may have done all that, you may fail, but don't give up. Because at the end of the day, we give you the opportunity to come for refresher courses, and we perhaps would want to sit down and understand, for instance, the gentleman or the lady that sent that message, where exactly did they go wrong? Come speak to a broker like us. As I said, we have training classes every single day. We're available to speak to you and guide you through the journey of perhaps appreciating what could have gone wrong through consultants such as this, and we see how we can best help you.
It was a gentleman who was, saying this, and so this raises a whole bit of. He's not alone in this whole bit. There are others who came in, wakasema, hapana. Nilienda hiyo training, went to the whole model bit of it, lakini hapana. And even into the live training.
Yes.
Wakasema, no, I'm done with this. How do you know that? How do you know that it is time to stop?
Again, perhaps that would be more of his space, because for me, again, I don't offer investment advice. I just guide. I give you the Ferrari type of platform to be able to engage in the market, but I'm also able to engage with individuals such as Kiaria to help guide as a consultant.
So Kiaria, how do you know it's time to stop?
Yeah, basically, you'll know it's time to stop definitely when you start making losses, because, like I said, there is an extent of loss that you can incur and then it can be painful. But again, I can take you back again from what I said. When you're trading, it's 60% psychology.
Yeah.
And these are some of the psychological mistakes that you can do. Like my friend Alex said, over trading. Maybe, probably, we don't know, maybe for the case of, is it Kelvin?
It was Clinton Mwangi.
Clinton Mwangi. Yeah. You find that maybe probably there are some things that maybe might overlooked. Like, for instance, when it comes to risk management. So you have always to ensure you do proper risk management. So when you talk about proper risk management, the rule of the thumb is do not risk more than 1 to 2% of your capital, okay? So if I'm taking a trade, maybe I have $500, so it means that if I take a high risk is 2%. What is 2% of $500? That is, we are talking about $10, right? So it means that any trade I'm taking, I'm risking 2%. So you find that with the now risk management, it will help you in terms of cushioning the losses. Because what I can tell you is that not all the days will be profitable. even for the experienced traders. You saw during the COVID-19 period, even Warren Buffett lost close to $4 million. So, and he has been in this field since age 16. So not all days will be good days. So what will keep you in the market for long is risk management. So if you practice proper risk management, let's say if I'm risking $10, what am I targeting? So probably risk to reward ratio of 1:2. I'm risking 10 to target 20. So you find even during the times that you'll have maybe losing days, the risk to reward ratio will be able to cushion you, because again, using a risk to reward ratio, I can be able to show you mathematically, you can be 60% a losing trader and 40% winning trader, but at the end of the day, you're profitable.
Right.
Using proper risk management. That is the only surest strategy. I usually call it, it's not a strategy, but I usually call it the surest strategy when it comes to forex trading, risk management.
Gentlemen, I'm being advised that our time is almost running out, but I'm saying that there's something you're scribbling before you have...
Oh, yes. I was just writing the dons, but of course, to better appreciate the dons, I would really encourage our audience to come to Scope Markets to just get an appreciation from our training sessions on a lot of the basics, the do's and don'ts. Importantly, the key thing that we say, do not fail to observe proper risk management. That is very key.
Afenulon, before we wrap it up, and I also get your final thoughts, Oksuma Maputu, because the Capital Markets Authority is really warning Kenyans to look for a licensed, trade broker. How do you know? How do you know that this, forex trader and forex broker is licensed?
Capital Markets Authority has been very gracious to have actually listed all the authorized brokers on their website. So please take time to just do your research, and go through that.
Okay.
About 9 other brokers in the market. Scope Markets was licensed in 2019. And there are many other brokers that have been licensed since.
Right.
But it's important to just take your time, do your homework, do your research on the Capital Markets Authority's website.
Your final thoughts?
Final thoughts, as I said, this is actually a skill that can be learned. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes discipline even when you're on it. And don't also shy away from getting refresher courses, because you could be as good, you could have been that good pre-COVID, but over time, a lot of things may have happened, a lot of things may have changed. A lot of new technology may have come into our market. Please take time, speak to your broker from time to time, just to understand and appreciate the changes and nuances in the trading space.
Right.
Yes.
Kerry, your final thoughts?
My final thoughts, like I said, this is 60% psychology. So my final thoughts is that forex trading is not a get-rich-quick scheme. So you need to approach it the best way possible. And again, it's always good to look for someone to carry you along. Okay, don't go along. Usiingie peke yako, ukufe peke yako. Talk, have a community, interact with other traders, see what they are doing, and from there you'll be able to learn from each other. Yeah. Right.
Thank you very much, Timothy Kiare, forex trader as well as an educator, and as well as Alex Karanja, CEO of Scope Markets. Meshkuru sana. I've learned a lot. The AUX, I didn't know that.
XAU.
XAU, oh yes. And I hope back at home you've also learned a lot. Our question of the day, how much do you understand when it comes to matters forex and online forex trading? Keep talking to us. The conversation continues. But right now, though, let's get into the county diary. Fred Indimoli is on standby. Fred, over to you.
Thank you, Stanley. And straight to our county diary, we kick off in Mombasa County, where my colleague Paul Muniu is on standby. Very good morning to you, Paul. What can you tell us from Mombasa?
Naam, bila shaka asante sana Stanley Nyaringita. Niko katika soko la Kongowea, pale ambapo nimeweza kujumuika na baadhi ya wafanya biashara katika eneo hili, na wana malalamishi, na ningependa tuweze kusikia ni malalamishi yapi. Kama unavyoona, wanaandaa maandamano wakihitaja haki yao, na ningependa niweze kuwashirikisha waweze kutueleza ni wasiwasi upi wako nao, na labda ni malalamishi yapi ambayo wako nayo. Tutulie kidogo alafu tuanze. Tuanze kwa jina, tueleze kwa nini tuko hapa siku ya leo na kwa nini mnaandamana.
Kwa majina naitwa Maureen Kawera. Tunaandamana kwa sababu ya mteja anaitwa David Kadhanga, ni supplier. Amekuwa akisupply akichukua mboga kwetu, anatuandikia checks, zinaenda zina bounce. Ziki bounce tumeenda mpaka kwa DCI, tumepiga report kila mahali, tulienda mpaka Kiafrika, tukakosa rights zetu, hakuna mtu wa kututetea. Tulienda tukaambiwa kwa DCI wameshindwa na yeye, tuende small claim court. Tulipoenda tukaambiwa tuandike statement, si tukashindwa. Statement inaandikwa wapi? Hizi ndizo mabarua, hizi ndizo documents za small claim. Tumeenda, hizi ni bounce check, hizi ni bounce check zenye anatupeaga zina bounce. Wakati tulienda kwa DCI, alichukua check zenye tulikuwa nazo hatuja bank, akazitarua kwa DCI.
Tueleze labda ni tusonge hivi kidogo. Tueleze labda ni bidhaa zipi ambazo mnazungumzia, na labda ni kiasi cha pesa ngapi mnazungumzia, na ni wafanya biashara kama wangapi ambao wameathirika?
Wafanyabiashara wengi hivi unaona sote tuko hapa. Huyu anauza mananasi, huyu anauza ndoma, huyu anauza sweet melon na red capsicum, huyu anauza kitunguu, mimi nauza mushroom, strawberry na mboga za Kihindi, huyu anauza minji, huyu anauza melon, watermelon. Kuna mwingine pale Wamboi kuja, huyu anauza capsicum na herbs. Huyu anauza capsicum na herbs.
Tueleze mchakato mzima, labda anakuja kwenyu kuchukua bidhaa, anapeleka wapi, ama ni kununua ama ni kwa kiasi?
Anapeleka mahotelini. Ana supply White, ana supply Leopard, ana supply Baobab, Serena, Pride, Voyager. Hizo ndizo hoteli zile ana supply. Na akipeleka mali yetu anakujaga anasema hoteli hazijalipa. All the time hoteli hazijalipa. Akituandikia cheki zikienda bank zina bounce. Anatuandikia checks zingine hazijabankiwa. Ikifika date ya kubank anakuambia usibank. Zinabaki tu zimeandikwa ni checks lakini hazijabankiwa. Ikifika date ya kubank anasema isibankiwe. Hizi ni checks zenye ana issue. Anapatia watu checks. Tulienda kesi yetu tukapeleka kwa DCI Nyali. Tunaobia hapa Kongowea. Kila mtu ameshindwa na yeye. Sasa mahali tumefika kwa sababu wakubwa wa sheria wameshindwa na yeye. Sisi tunataka kujua kama sisi kama wamama wa mboga hatuna haki yetu, kwa sababu hakuna vile tutampatia mtu mboga supply alafu atudhulumu haki yetu.
Naam, tueleze jina lako alafu tueleze labda swala hili limeweza kuathiri biashara zenyu kwa kiasi kipi ama kwa namna gani?
Naitwa Zipora Wamboi, nauza hoho red and yellow na herbs. Tuko na changamoto za biashara. Kama mimi pesa yangu nilimwekea mali 2019 December na mwezi wa 11 na January 2020 hapo mwanzo ikafika 300,000 na mpaka leo haja nilipa, na ndio cheki ananiambia nisibank. Kwa hivyo niko na cheki zangu na hesabu yangu niko nazo ambao hatija bank.
Na labda swala hili limeweza kuathiri vipi wewe kama mfanyabiashara? Manake kuna pesa ambazo zimepotea, umeweza kuathirika vipi?
Nimeathirika hapa kubwa sana kwa sababu wakati huo mtoto wangu first born alikuwa university. Kwa hivyo nilistruggle kumlipia kabisa nika struggle, na walikuwa wawili, mmoja alikuwa college na mwingine alikuwa university. Kwa hivyo nilistruggle nikijua pesa zangu ziko pale, ananidanganya mpaka wale ananidanganya atanilipa. Niliathirika kwa sababu nilingangana kusomesha mtoto hadi nafanya biashara ambayo iko na kazi na pesa.
Asante sana. Tuungane na mwingine hapa, tueleze kwa nini asubuhi ya leo hauko katika biashara yako bali uko hapa unaandamana?
Nimekuja kwa kuandamana kwa kudai haki yangu. Nimempatia mali mpaka dakika hii kunilipa hataki. Na ukifuata akwambia nenda kule unapotaka kwenda. Ndio majibu yake anajibu. Anakuzungusha tu namna hivi anavyotaka yeye. Sasa hatujui ametegemea wapi. Na
hatua umeweza kuchukua, umeenda kuelekea mahakamani kwa DCI, labda hatua gani nyingine ambayo mnatarajia kuchukua?
Hatua tutategemea sheria tutafuata, tutajua vile tutakavyoeleza nyinyi waandishi wa habari. Mpaka dakika tumekwama. Tumezunguka na yeye lakini tukimpeleka pale anatoka. Yaani anaweza kukuchukua wewe akakuweka ndani, wewe unamdai, anakuweka ndani alafu yeye anatoka. Sasa sijui yeye anategemea wapi.
Wewe mwingine hapa ambaye atakuwa natumalizia, tueleze labda wasiwasi wako ni upi katika kipindi ambacho Wakenya wanalalamikia kuongezeka kwa gharama ya uchumi na vile vile kukosa pesa?
Okay, kwa majina naitwa Martin Mureide. Mimi leo hii huwa nafanya biashara ya watermelon, lakini kwa leo nimekuja hapa kwa sababu ninadai haki yangu. Nilisupply huyu customer na watermelon kutoka 2022, yote ilikuja karibu 1.1, nikalipwa 500,000, 600,000 sijaweza kulipwa, na kesi iko kwa DCI tunafuatilizia, lakini kazi yangu haijakuwa sawa kutoka wakati ule. Mimi sina mzigo, ni kukaa tu, hata kitu ya kukula saa nyingine nasumbua kwa sababu pesa zangu zote zilishikwa pale mahali. Sasa hivyo ndio kuko.
Labda wito wako au kimalizia ni upi?
Ni vizuri mtu akichukua haki ya mtu kwa sababu mmefanya biashara pamoja, akukamilishie ile haki yako. Asante sana.
Asante sana. Bila shaka tu hayo ni baadhi ya malalamishi kutoka kwa wafanyabiashara hapa ambao naelezwa kwamba tumpatie mwingine nafasi. Ukimalizia tueleze hisia zako ukimalizia, alafu tueleze ni kipi ambacho umeshika kwa mikono yako.
Kwa majina naitwa Elizabeth Wangare, naitwa Mama County kule Kasarani, niko county ya Mombasa. Kuna bwana mmoja tumekuwa tukisupply anaitwa David Gadhanga Kenywa. Amekuwa hata nitishio kwetu hata katika maisha yetu. Cause tunamsupply vitu vingi na anapeleka katika hotels nyingi, anaenda analipwa pesa lakini anakuja anatudhulumu sisi wamama wanyonge. Ni kama ambaye hatuna haki. Tumekuwa tukienda mpaka police. Tukienda kwa madisi yae, anaenda na wahonga. Kuna DStv moja hapa Nyali. Sijui nimtaje kwa jina. Nitaje ama nisaje? Nitaje ama nisaje? Hapo tukapata retich. Najua maisha yangu yatakuwa hatarini, lakini najua Mwenyezi Mungu
Yes, thank you for that report from Mombasa County. Paul Munio, a reporter there. Let's go straight to Nyahururu town, which is in Laikipia County. Laban Muhindo is our man on the ground. Laban, a very good morning to you. What can you tell us from Nyahururu this morning?
Naam, shukran sana mwenzangu kwenye studio kuu za Nairobi. Ninakupata kwa njia ya mbashara zaidi nikiwa hapa kwenye uwanja wa michezo mjini Nyahururu, huku ni kaunti ya Laikipia. Na leo nimeweza kutembelea wanariadha ambao wanaendeleza mazoezi katika uwanja huu, na ningependa tu kupata maoni au hisia zao ni yapi kuhusiana na mazoezi haya, na je, wanalenga nini katika mbio zijazo za ubingwa wa Afrika. Karibu ndani ya TV47, kisha baadaye uanze kwa majina yako na utueleze wewe unaitwa nani na mazoezi haya ni ya nini haswa?
Okay, asante sana. Kwa majina naitwa Stanley Njehia Kamau. Mimi ni mwanariadha kutoka huko Nyahururu. Mimi na concentrate sana na mbio za 1000 mita, 10,000 na tena hizi za road races. Sasa hii tuna prepare zenye ziko karibu next week ni trials za Africa Championship, then after that tutakuwa na Olympic. So sote tio tunaangazia sana kwa saa hii.
Kwa hivyo unasema kuwa mnajitayarisha katika trials au majaribio ya mbio za Olympic. Je, wewe binafsi umejitayarisha vipi?
Kwa binafsi mazoezi imekuwa sawa. Nimekuwa nikijitayarisha kwa muda mrefu na nimefanya mbio kadhaa kuona vyenye mwili iko, lakini kusema kweli sio mbaya juu first and third meeting ni mimi nilibeba. Nilipata qualifying time on the first meeting, so mwili sio mbaya na natarajia kuperform vizuri Mungu akitujalia wakati wa from Tuesday next week. Yeah.
Na tunaona kuwa nchi ya Kenya au dunia nzima hivi karibuni imekumbwa na changamoto za mabadiliko ya hali ya anga. Je, wewe kama mkimbiaji hilo limekuathiri vipi katika mazoezi yako?
Kwa kusema kweli hali ya anga sio mzuri vile, lakini kwetu sisi wanariadha sana wakati jua imekuwa mingi, ndio iko saa hii, huwa tunafanya mazoezi asubuhi. Tunaamkia asubuhi, so kabla jua ifike kuwa kali sana tunakuwa tumemaliza. Yeah.
Na huku Nyahururu wakazi wamelichukulia vipi mchezo huu au riadha katika mji wa Nyahururu? Je, wakazi wamelichukulia vipi?
Kusema kweli huku Nyahururu wanariadha wanafanya vizuri sana juu kuna watu wengi wamefanya vizuri, record ziko huku. Hii waja ni waja iko na record yake kivyake juu watu wengi tangu kitambo wamekuwa wakiperform vizuri, record zote zikienda kuvunjwa zinavunjwa huku waja juu, so watu ni wengi sana huku, tuna mazoezi inakuwa vizuri na tena ni high altitude, so watu wengi wana prefer hiyo high altitude, ndio maana unaona tumejaa hivi. Yeah.
Naam, shukrani sana. Nawe bwana, karibu na utueleze majina yako na unashiriki mbio gani?
Kwa majina naitwa Wilson Lemangale, nashiriki kwa mbio za mita 10,000 na kwa muda huu sasa natumania kushiriki katika mbio za nyika. Tutaweza kuwa kwa uwanja wa prison Ruiru.
Kwa hivyo matayarisho yamekuwa vipi na changamoto ambazo umekumbana nazo katika juhudi zako za kujitayarisha katika mbio hizo?
Juhudi zangu za kujitayarisha, nimejipanga vyema, nimejitayarisha. Changamoto ni haziwezi kosa kadhaa wakati mwingine, mara injuries, mara tuseme hali ya anga, mvua hivyo ama jua kali, lakini tunajitolea tu, tunajipush tu mbele. Yeah.
Na je, ungependa kuambia viongozi serikalini ujumbe upi kuhusiana na michezo hii ya riadha? Una ujumbe upi kwa serikali?
Kwa ujumbe wangu kwa serikali ni wajaribu kuangalia hizi uwanja za wanariadha za kutrainia. Kama uwanja huu sasa wa Nyahururu, tuko wanariadha wengi sana. Wakati mwingine mvua ikinyesha hatuji huku. Juu hizi lanes za mchanga, saa inakuwa na matope mingi sana. So tunapata hiyo challenge. Yeah.
Na je, serikali ya kaunti ya Laikipia pia ungependa iweze kuzingatia riadha kwa njia gani?
Nataka izingatie riadha kwa tuseme sana iangalia mwanariadha yule wa chini. Kutoka pale chini ndivyo waweze kukua kwa njia inayostahili. Juu wengi sana talanta zao zinapotelea kwa chini, juu saa zingine unakosa udhamini. Saa zingine kuna shida mingi sana tuseme tu, lakini hata wanajua wanaelewa. Yeah.
Shukrani sana. Na kama vile ambavyo umesikia, hayo ndio baadhi ya maoni, vile malalamishi ya wanariadha kutoka kaunti ya Laikipia, wengi wakisema kuwa miundo misingi katika baadhi ya viwanja vya kufanyia mazoezi humu nchini ziko duni sana, na wangeomba serikali kupitia wizara ya michezo kuweza kuzingatia na kuweza kuboresha viwanja vya michezo humu nchini. Kutoka kwangu mie Laban Muhinda, nikiwa hapa kwenye uwanja wa michezo mjini Nyahururu, huku ni kaunti ya Laikipia. Sina la ziada la kuregesha usukani kwako studio.
Thank you so much, Laban Muhinda, for that update from Nyahururu. And from Laikipia County, we go straight to Kisii County, where Alfayo Kombo is stationed. Good morning, Alfayo. Bring us up to speed with what's happening in Kisii this morning.
Thank you very much, Njumuli. I'm from Kisii County right now, whereby it has been drizzling since morning. But right now there's a little bit of sunny, and I'll be talking with some of the residents to tell us what's their feel and what are their sentiments on the various issues since there was the political high heat end during the start of the impeachment of the deputy governor, that is Dr. Robert Monda. And yesterday and today they've been saying that there will be public participation, whereby yesterday the places of Ibeno, the wards like Ibeno, Ichuni, and Gesusu wards, they were seen high heat end, whereby several residents had commotions, whereby the Bubaracho MCA, that is Ibrahim, was seen having some guys who went to the other sides of Ibeno to cause some chaos with his counterpart of Kisii Central Ward, that is Wilfred Monyenye. We'll be talking to some residents to hear the sentiments. What is their feel of this issue of impeachment, and what will they wish the political leaders and the county MCAs to be able to do in order to bring peace and tranquility here in Kisii County. Pengine ukiweza kukaribia hapa, mtueleze jina lako ni nani, na je pengine unahisi
Mimi ni George, mkazi wa Kisii. Mimi naongea kama mwananchi wa Kenya na kutoka Kisii. Ninaomba viongozi wetu kote hapa Kisii, kuanzia governor, kuanzia deputy wake na wa MCA wote na wabunge, na waomba amani. Sisi wananchi tunataka amani. Amani ndi kitu ya muhimu sana kwa kila jambo yenye tunafanya hapa. Hii kaunti yetu ya Kisii iendelee. Kwanza viongozi na wapea first Hebrew 12:14 inasema tutafuta amani. Tutafuta amani na bidii. Tutafuta amani na bidii. Watu wanaendanga church. Monda, najua wewe ni mtu unaendanga church na ni mtu unaelewa mambo ya Mungu, unastahili kujua amani na tafutwa. Ni hivyo pia kina Simba, yeye ndio governor yetu hapa Kisii. Tunakuomba kama governor uleta hawa watu pamoja ili tupate amani Kisii, tufanye maendeleo, kwa maana kaunti yetu inaendelea kurudi nyuma. Nataka irudi nyuma. Viongozi wote hata wa MCA wote mrudi mfanye amani. Tunataka amani Kisii. Hiyo ndio maombi yangu kama mwananchi wa Kisii. na waombea tufanye amani.
Naam, asante sana. Pengine tuweze kupata mkazi mwingine, tueleze je, hisia zako ni zipi na unahisi aje kuhusiana na mvutano huu ambao umekuwa ukishuhudiwa hasa katika gatuzi hili la Kisii?
Mimi kwa majina naitwa Daniel Motali kutoka Kisii hapa. Nilikuwa naomba hii Kisii County yetu kuanzia gavana wetu wa Kisii County, tunaomba sisi amani. Kitu tunahitaji hapa ni maendeleo. Hataki mambo ya mfurutano, eti mara huyu anisikii mara huyu. Tunaomba tu msikizane, murudi pamoja vile tuliwapigia kura mkashinda kula nyingi. Tunaomba tena mshidi kuwa pamoja, msaidiane. Naona Simba, wewe gavana wetu, nakupenda hapa Kisii. Niliona unajua kuimba, uliimba hapa Kisii primary. Kuimba vizuri sana na first grade wetu. Tukafurahi. Naona wewe Monda deputy governor. Wewe ni mtu wa kanisa, utoe kanisani. Tafadhali kuja pamoja, tunaomba uwiano, msaidiane kazi ili tupate maendeleo. Unajua mfurutano uleti kitu yoyote Kisii County. Naomba nyinyi mkiwa pamoja mlete maendeleo, tengenezewe hapa maendeleo ikuwe sawa. Mfutano hakuna faida nyingine yoyote. Hayo ndio niko nayo, asante.
Naam, asante sana. Pia tuweze kupata unatueleze je, hisia zako ni zipi kuhusiana na swala hili simu?
Okay. Asante sana. Kwa majina naitwa Edward Nyawali Rasemo. Mimi ni mkaji wa Kisii. Kwa vile mimi naonelea mambo ya Kisii, mambo ya gavana Simbarati ndio gavana ya Kisii. Naona kazi yao, sisi tunataka amani etumuke Kisii County. Vile tunaona siasa ndio uko mingi kati ya serikali kuu na serikali ya county, achaona maendeleo yote. Kitu sisi tutaweza kusema kitu tunataka amani ingie Kisii, watufanyie maendeleo. Asante.
Naam, asante sana. Pengine tuweze kupata hisia zako. Je, unahisi kwamba mvutano huu ambao unaonekana kati ya viongozi wa Azimio, wakilishi wa Azimio na wa UDA katika bunge, hasa wakati ambapo spika Nyanumba aliwapatia fursa kwenda kufanya mahojiano na wananchi kuweza kupata hasa ni kipi, je, Monda anafaa kubanduliwa au hafai kubanduliwa, na mvurukano uliweza kuonekana. Je, unahisi kwamba ni swala ambalo liko sawa?
Mimi kwa maoni yangu nasema kwa hawa viongozi wote sisi ndio tuliowachagua, na hawa viongozi wote wasirikiane kufanyia sisi maendeleo. Kama ni mambo ya public kutafuta suluhu ya hii mambo ya impeachment, tunaomba viongozi wote wasinisaiti wananchi. Hata mimi ukikuja kwangu unipee pesa ati niende kufuruka mkutano wa watu fulani, hiyo ni ujinga. Kitu tunataka ni amani. Kama Monda ako na makosa, MCAs wafuate sheria, aidha wampandue ama wamwache ofisini. Sisi hapa nje tunataka tufanye kazi yetu, tupate kilisiki yetu ya kila siku. Hatutaki maneno mingi. Na wananchi wote wa mji wa Kisii, tafadhali na waomba msipigane, msipewe pesa muende kupigana. Ukienda kupigana, ukiuawa sauli yako. Sisi tunataka tu tukae na amani, tuendelee na kazi zetu. Kwa gavana wetu tunaona unaendelea na kazi mzuri. Hayo mengine ya MCA wacha wafanye oversight yao. Wao ndio walianzisha impeachment, wanajua sababu ni nini. Kama Monda kuna makosa atajitetea. Lakini sisi wananchi tafadhali tusipigane, tukae na amani. Asante.
Pengine tuweze kupata wa mwisho kabisa, tueleze hisia zako ni zipi. Songa mbele kidogo.
Habari.
Tunazungumzia kuhusu swala la kubanduliwa kwa gavana, kwa naibu gavana. Je, unahisi je kuhusiana na swala hili, naibu gavana?
Kwa majina naitwa Adriano Songo. Mimi ile kitu nataka gavana wetu anayemfuata assistant wakuwe na amani na Simba Araji. Tena ile kitu tunataka ni maendeleo. Hatutaki maneno vitina, wafanyie wananchi wote ya maendeleo. Na kwa majina naitwa Adriano Osongo.
Naam, asante sana. Thanks very much, Indemuli. As you have heard, those are the few sentiments of residents from Kisii County. Majority of them are asking residents from different wards and sub-counties to have peace and tranquility and not to accept any handouts from the political leaders in order to cause out political hit end by causing chaos in the public barazas that are being done in order to have what we call public participation in the long term, in order to have to collect the views of people in order, as it was ordered by the county assembly, that is Nyanumba, the Speaker of the County Assembly, that was ordering that the public participation to be done in order to allow even the Kisii residents to give their sentiments on whether the impeachment of Monda should go on or not. I don't have much to say, but to pass the mantle back to you in studio, Fred in the morning.
Thank you so much, Alfayo Kombo, for that update from Kisii. And from there, we go straight to Taita Taveta County, where Julius Mariki is on standby with another update from that end, matters to do with ESCC and some of the recommendations that they've made in the recent past. A very good morning to you, Julius. Go ahead with your report.
Well, a very good morning here in Taita Taveta from studio, and today here I will be speaking to some residents from Taita Taveta County concerning the issue of ESCC recommendation that it had focused on misappropriation of funds from the county assembly and as well as the executive wing concerning the World War I. And today also, last week we had or County Assembly of Taita Taveta last week had passed a motion to impeach the CEC for lands here in Taita Taveta, Madam Elizabeth Mkongo, due to various allegations, and today she is expected to appear before the special committee to defend herself. And without taking much time, I'll be engaging some residents here to give us their reaction or what do they think concerning the issues that are happening currently in Taita Taveta County. Pengine ukisongea hapa utueleze kwa ufupi tu kwa majina yako, kisha utueleze unahisi vipi kuhusiana na ripoti na mapendekezo ya ESCC, vile vile kuhusiana na masuala ya ufisadi katika kaunti ya Taita Taveta.
Mimi kwa majina naitwa Alikana Faida Mwangemi, ama wamenizoea sana Baba Junior. Kusingana na ripoti hii anti-corruption ESCC ni kwamba nilikuwa naangalia kwa upande wangu ni kama wamemwonea ule jamaa ule deputy speaker. Sababu gani? Okay, kama kuna corruption, kusema ukweli tunajiuliza maswali kama wenyeji hapa Taita Taveta County, mbona wakashika jamaa mmoja? Kwa sababu walisema kwamba kuna watu wale walikula World War I, watu walikuwa ni 4 kwenye ile report kwamba county assembly wanasema watu ni 2, lakini ndio unajiuliza yule county speaker, sema kweli si procurement officer, kwa basi account sasa ilikuwaje akawekwa kwenye hiyo mix? Alafu tena juzi mbona walimshika peke yake? Kwa nini hawakuweza kufanya, kwa nini wako wana file hao wengine? Sababu mtu peke yake ndio mwenyewe tumemwona amepelekwa Mombasa jana na hatujaona wengine wameshikwa. So maswali bado tunajiuliza Taita Taveta County. Sawa, kama kulikuwa na ofisadi na bado sasa hivi tunasema kwamba is not guilty, na kama kulikuwa na ofisadi mbona washike mtu mmoja peke yake?
Kwa hivyo wasiwasi wako ama swala lako ni kwamba wameshika mtu mmoja na si wote wale ambao wako kwenye orodha?
Mimi wasiwasi wangu kwa nini walishika mtu mmoja? Kama kweli walikuwa kwenye orodha zote, mbona wakufanya uchunguzi wakawashika pamoja wakapeleka kotini? Na paka saa hizi ndio mzungumzo hawajashika yoyote paka saa hizi. So tunaona kama ni kitu ilikuwa stage manage, yani kitu ambayo ilikuwa mebini ya kisiasa, sababu yule bwana deputy speaker tunasikia kwamba anataka kiti ya undani 2027. So tunaona kama kuna mambo ya siasa yaliendelea ndani.
Na pengine unaunga mkono vita dhidi ya ufisadi viendelee ama unahisi vipi?
Mimi naunga mkono vita dhidi ya ufisadi iendelee, na wale ambao watakaopatikana wanaiba pesa za Taita Taveta County washikwa wawekwe ndani. Na kusema ukweli, na wale watu ambao wanafanya uchunguzi wafanye uchunguzi wa haki, wafanye kweli, wakuwe na evidence, na wakishika mtu kweli, kwa sababu mara nyingi tunaona ACC inashika watu wanatoka, kuna kitu kinafanyika, yani tunaona kama ni kitu yani ni wanafanya catwalking. Tunataka kweli kama kweli walihusika na ufisadi waweze kushtakiwa na washikwe, na tunataka tusiwaone tu wameshika wote, si mtu mmoja peke yake. Kwa sababu kweli kama ni pesa ilifutwa ya W1 ya vita vya kwanza vya dunia ilifutwa, na paka saizi tunajiona hata mmoja ambaye ameshikwa. Na kama kweli kwa assembly walikula pesa, wafanye uchunguzi wao na wawashike wote, si mtu mmoja peke yake. Hiyo ndio mambo yangu.
Asante. Pengine Abo, ukisongea hapa karibu utupate kuzungumza na wewe, utakuwa unaongelea vipi swala hili kuhusiana na ufisadi ama vita dhidi ya ufisadi katika kaunti ya Taita Taveta, hasa tukizingatia kwamba kumetoka ripoti ambayo ilikuwa inaongelea kuhusu uchunguzi dhidi ya ufisadi ama pesa zilizofujwa wakati wa World War I na vile vile katika ziara ya waheshimiwa wa bunge la kaunti?
Kwa upande wangu mimi naitwa naitwa Bernard Nsioki, mkereketwa wa Voi ama Taita Taveta County. Ile kitu mimi ningeuliza ni kitu kimoja. Wale wanachunguza hii ripoti, wachunguze ripoti kwa ufasaha na wachunguze ripoti wakiwa na nia ya kuangalia na kuangazia kila mmoja ambaye alihusika, si kuhusisha mtu mmoja. Tunataka tuone watu wakishikwa wamekula koti yetu. Tunataka tuone watu wameshikwa na wamefungwa ama mali zao zimetekwa na zikarudishiwa wananchi.
Pengine pengine ripoti hii ilikuwa inapendekeza kwamba uchunguzi ufanywe pengine na zile fedha ambazo zilikuwa zimefujwa zipate kurejeshwa. Una imani na tume hii ya EACC kwamba inaweza kamilisha hili kwa ufasaha?
Inaweza kukamilisha. Hii tume haina makosa yoyote, na hii tume ikipewa nafasi mzuri na isiingiliwe na kwa njia lolote lile, hii ripoti itatoa ripoti nzuri na watu watafungwa na wataregesha mali za wananchi.
Asante. Pengine mwingine hapa tuzungumzie kuhusiana na swala nzima la utendakazi katika serikali ya kaunti ya Taita Taveta. Tumeona wiki jana ya kwamba wabunge wa bunge la kaunti wameweza kupitisha mswada wa kumng'atua kwa mamlaka ya waziri wa masuala ya ardhi. Pengine unahisi vipi, ni hatua za mwafaka zinaendelea ama serikali inatenda kazi vipi katika kaunti hii?
Naam, majina yangu nafahamika kama Idris Mohamed. Mimi ni mwananchi kaunti ya Taita Taveta. Na ningesema ya kwamba impeachment ya huyo Madam Kongo ni kwamba I support that motion, kwa sababu kumekuwa na complaint hapa na pale, kwa sababu investors wenyewe walikuwa wanatoroka hii county kwa sababu approval wanahitaji hongo sijui nini. Kumekuwa na gaps katika hiyo department yake, na ndio maana MCAs ambao walichaguliwa na wananchi wameona ya kwamba it is better to defend the constitution ili waweze kumuondoa na wananchi wa kaunti ya Taita Taveta wapate haki.
Leo hii atakuwa anapewa fursa ya kwenda mbele ya kamati maalum ili kujitetea kutokana na madai yale. Pengine unahisi ya kwamba process hiyo ama mchakato huo utakuwa unaendelea kwa hali ya mwafaka ama iko sawa?
Kwa maoni yangu ni kwamba MCAs washaamua ya kwamba huyu madam ataondoka. Kwa hivyo hata akijitetea leo, hata akuje na nini, mimi naona anaenda, na ni jukumu la Governor Andrew Mwadime aweze kuleta waziri ambaye anachapa kazi, sio waziri ambaye ana sabotage shughuli za county, na vile pia ananyima investors fursa ya kuinvest katika hii county.
Pengine wito wako ni upi katika viongozi, hasa katika ripoti ambayo ilitoka juzi kuhusiana na masuala ya ufisadi? Haya yote pengine utazungumziaje kwa sekunde chache tu?
Na swala la ufisadi, mimi naweza sema tume ya EACC ni tume independent na huwa haidepend kwa rumors wala hearsay. Na mimi naweza sema ya kwamba kama ni swala la ufujaji wa hela katika county assembly lipo, na tuliona wanaharakati tulijitokeza tuka raise flag ya kwamba hawa watu wameenda Dubai, wameenda hivi wakitumia rasilimali ya umma bila kufuata ile due process. So EACC wamefanya kazi yao na tunawashukuru. Kwa sababu gani? They secure our public funds. Tuna imani na wao.
Asante. Well, as you have heard, those are just a few of the residents here in Taita Taveta just reacting on the issues that are happening currently in Taita Taveta, and we will be following up to some of the issues so that we can update our viewers to our subsequent bulletin. From Taita Taveta, I take it back to you in studio. My name is Julius Mariki Mwakibo.
Thank you so much, Julius Mariki, all the way in Taita Taveta County, bringing us up to speed with what's happening from that end. Now over to you, just before we wrap up, Stanley. What else can you tell us? I can see you have some updates on the weather.
Oh yes, just trying to see if it's weather for two or weather for one. It's a Tuesday, so 12 p.m. hasn't hit. So this is forecast for different parts of Nairobi. And so all the way from 6 a.m. Until 12 p.m. do expect some early morning cloudiness breaking into sunny intervals. Into the afternoon, some moderate showers. We'll be waiting to see if that will be happening. And getting into the evening, all the way to tomorrow morning, some moderate showers into that. They also say for today, do expect temperatures maximum to be as 31 and the minimum as of 18. I was taking a look at what Google is saying, and it says it feels like 24 degrees Celsius, but it's about 22, so getting all the way. So this is as of Nairobi. As they were saying again, they expect some showers of that. Into the roads, in case you're also planning to leave right now, this is how the roads are looking like. Just to zoom in to see which roads are as red as possible. That's Counter Street as well as Poster Road. In case you want to look for other diversions, getting into, streaming your way and sneaking your way into different parts of Nairobi's CBD. You can see as well as Parliament Road. Some slight traffic snarl up, but then it eases after this Parliament Road, but then do expect that traffic snarl up, bumper to bumper, as well as other roads into the city, Wabera Street as well, and Kenyatta Avenue. That is how the roads are looking like. Finally, a question of the day that we're asking you on Biashara Tuesday today: how much do you understand when it comes to forex, online forex trading? Manjev says, Arsenal Kichwa is the only thing I know. I feel like you relate to him.
Let me not comment. Let me not comment. I disassociate myself from that Arsenal fan.
Fomba Jr. wanted to be first one to comment, but unfortunately, we saw many unemployed youths. Peter Dochas, I have a question. How much do I need to start? So according to the experts, they're saying, and they're advising in between $50 to $100. But then you have to have a training for about 3 months plus to understand how much you'd actually need to start with and the skills that you want. Something else, Ndiwa Kamau says mwosho moja. And if you're a Kenyan, you really understand what he means by the wash. And we also had
that's a perception that people who engage in forex trading could be money laundering, but not necessarily. It's actually a legitimate business. But Clinton Mwangi says he has never recovered from his losses, and it remains a painful ordeal for him.
Oh yes.
Well, how painful was that?
Addison is comforting him, says at least you've learned a lesson. Life is like that. Matthew, I'm not understanding the way you're not. Polite guy, I don't understand anything. Sam Rono says nothing, very little. Bantu Mutai, 60%. That is what Kenyans are saying on that conversation. It continues online. How much do you understand on matters forex trading? That is what we had for you on Biashara Tuesday.
Oh yes, you can go back and review some of those lessons as explained by our experts earlier this morning. Those the video clips are still online, available even on X at TV47 News and on Facebook TV47 Kenya, and you can go back and revise and at least come out of that with some knowledge on forex trading.
Oh yes.
Yes. And this is where we dock for this morning. Thank you so much for staying with us since 6 a.m. We do this again tomorrow.